Alright, and we're on to the countdown to the release of Shadowlands, and in this video for World of Warcraft, what I'd like to talk about is what sort of brought me back is effectively I have some hopes for the story. Now, I've kept an eye on the story, even in Battle for Azeroth, although I attempted to play it as a casual, and indeed it worked for a little while and then didn't. And but the story was never that engaging to me. And what I want to do is, in this one, because it can easily be said, and so many people will do the same, oh, maybe Shadowlands will be the one, I'll give World of Warcraft one last chance. It's because they loved World of Warcraft so much in the past, they just want to see it recapture that majesty. They come back, play it for a month or two, oh no, stopping it again. But from my point of view, I want to explain what I think is wrong with the way World of Warcraft stories have been run, and how that doesn't apply to Shadowlands, and why I've got a much better feeling for Shadowlands. And this may not be a problem that you have identified World of Warcraft, in which case, I don't know. But compared to Warcraft, for example, so, I mean, I'd played Warcraft since Warcraft 1. In Warcraft 1, let's be honest, there was no story. Yes, they've fleshed it out in the novels, and it sounds like there was a story. There was no story. But Warcraft 2 there was. The storytelling element of Warcraft 2 was very much there. It was fleshed out. It was quite engaging. I didn't like the game so much, but I did like the story. Warcraft 3, again, moved the story on. New characters, new on both good and bad side. New stories kept moving the story on. Then World of Warcraft came out. This didn't really happen. World of Warcraft constantly harks back to the first Warcraft games. So when World of Warcraft initially came out, the main storylines were all about immersing yourself into this World of Warcraft. Now that made sense in the grand context of things. So the major raid tiers, for example, you had one relating to Ragnarok, so Elemental Lords aspect of the lore. Nefarian, so, you know, the dragonflies. You had Anchorage, so you've got that Old Gods link. And then you had Naxxramas, so you've got the Scourge link there as well, relating to the Lich King. So it gave you a little flavour of the different aspects of the lore, fair enough. But then you move on to the first expansion, and all the expansions have effectively, although they might have side stories, there's one central story running right through, in a way that the original World of Warcraft didn't. And that was all about Illidan, of course. So you brought back Illidan, Lady Vash, Kel'Thas. You had a little bit in Karazhan as well with Medivh. It was all bringing back old characters. Sure, they moved the story on and then completely reworked it for Legion, retconned the hell out of it. But it was still bringing back an old story that had been done. Yeah, you extend it, but it's bringing back an old story. Wrath of the Lich King, same thing, bring back the Lich King. I'm not saying they shouldn't have done these things. But all it was doing is it was taking stories from previous games and building on them. And then you had Cataclysm, which did the same thing. You know, this time it's from Warcraft 2. But again, you're taking an old story and redoing it. Not completely reworking it, but although there was, every time they did this, there was a bit of retconning going on. But, you know, and extending it. Then you had Mists of Pandaria. Now this I thought was brilliant because it was genuinely new. It wasn't taking an old story from the previous Warcraft games and building on it. They actually did, for the first time ever, as far as I was concerned, a genuinely new story for World of Warcraft. It was, World of Warcraft had been out for years, and this was the first time when an expansion was based on the idea of this is new. You haven't seen this before. Then a lot of people didn't like it for whatever reason. So then they completely doubled down. They went the other way. So Warlords of Draenor, which was like, we're going to bring back everyone, all these people from your favourite characters from the old Warcraft things. Aren't they all dead? Aha, yeah, we've got a cunning plan. We're going to do time travel. Oh, no. And we're going to mix it with alternative universe. Oh, please don't. My heart sank when I saw that. Oh, absolutely sank. Dreadful story. And nothing good comes from time travel alternate universes outside of Doctor Who, which, by the way, it's the anniversary today, 57th anniversary. But that's what they did, and I thought it was absolutely dreadful. And then moving on for a bit, because by the way, Legion, I don't need to go through Legion and Battle for Azeroth, same sort of thing. It's bringing back old stuff and extending it. That's not new either. But Shadowlands, see, Shadowlands does something that Warlords of Draenor tried to do, but it does it in a better way. Because in Shadowlands, you're also bringing back old characters. Now, at this point, you'll be saying, but Phil, how can you be positive about this? You say you don't like it when they just bring back the old stories. No, I don't. But you know what? After over 15 years, what is it now? Is it 16 years that World of Warcraft's been out? After that amount of time, I've given up. I've given up on the idea that World of Warcraft will ever do anything genuinely new again. It will just keep borrowing from old stories. Sure, extending them, building on them, fine, whatever. But I don't think we're going to get another Mists of Pandaria. Maybe, but... So I've made peace with it. I actually haven't, but I'm accepting it. And so if they're going to do it at all, if they must do this, and we've spent the last 16 years killing off all these major characters, not that they stay dead for very long. Kel'Thas didn't even stay dead in the same expansion. We had to kill him twice. But given that they insist on doing this, Shadowlands is a much better way to do it. Because you're not having to go back in time. You're not having to do alternate universe rubbish. Because these characters are dead. We're going to the land of the dead. So it allows us to carry on these stories. It allows us to have... God, I think the Legion's invading again. It allows us to continue these stories. I mean, the story between, for example, Uther and Arthas. There's some interest in there. If you accept that they're going to keep bringing back old characters, there's interest in there. And this is the very way to do it. You don't reimagine. You don't go back to an alternate universe back in time and reimagine the story between Arthas and Uther. And when I say reimagine, I mean change completely. No, because you're seeing it in the context where it at least makes sense. Same with the other characters that we are now going to be meeting. If you're going to have to do this, this is the way to do it. And that's why I sort of think I'm not going to feel that Shadowlands is disjointed, hopefully. I mean, the story, the way it eventually pans out, because I don't know how it's going to pan out, may end up being disappointing at the end, or it may not. But the premise is something that I think, yeah, I can work with this. This is okay. This is acceptable. All that now has to happen is that the mechanical sides of the game have to be of interest to someone who is now, of course, going to be playing again casually. Can I actually do that throughout Shadowlands? But at least the story won't be annoying me. But those are my thoughts anyway ahead of the launch. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And until next time, I'll see you later.